Right, my friends. Now what we're going to do is I would grab a piece of copy paper and think about, after having looked at all of the different trees by Piet Mondrian, I just want you to think about how you might draw some of the trees. And one of the things you could do is you could just in your sketchbook kind of think about maybe what particular tree resonated with you, or you might just want to maybe one of his trees gave you an idea. Like, for example, there was one tree that he had and it was gray and it was in black and white, and it almost seemed like the branches were just like going everywhere, and he just kind of had it. It's almost like he just went back and forth and around. It was almost like a scribble tree. And maybe you just want to play around with what that type of thing would look like. Maybe in another instance, he had trees where he drew them and then he just kind of had like these blobs on top of the tree. And he was practicing around with that. Another tree he had where he actually used, he made it much more geometric, where he kind of had some lines going up, and then he also just had some so he kind of had the essence of a tree, and then he kind of had the essence of some leaf shapes, but it kind of left us thinking, is it a tree or not? So I just want you to kind of play around in your sketchbook and sort of play around with some ideas. And then once you kind of have an idea of one of the trees that you like, or maybe a tree that kind of inspired you, then what you can do is you can grab, I sent home with you guys a piece of regular size drawing paper, and what you can do is on that drawing paper, then you can kind of, and depending on which way you want to orient the tree, you can turn your paper either vertically or horizontally, and think about using your materials at home. So either using crayons or pencil or any other kind of cool medium that you have, and think about just coming up with your own interpretation of a drawing of a tree. And it can be sort of something that is inspired by his work, or something sort of an idea that you have in your own head about a tree. And some of the things that you can brainstorm or think about are the tree parts, sort of like I talked about earlier, where what are the tree parts? There is a trunk. Is it going to be thin or fat, or maybe just a line? There are leaves. Are there or aren't there? What are the branches going to be like? So those are some things that you can think about, and how would you represent the branches? Are they just going to be lines, or are they going to be actual shapes? Maybe you create a tree out of rectangles. So this is just sort of a fun thing to get your mind going, to get your creativity going. And so I just really want you to have fun with this, and I cannot wait to see what type of trees that you design.